Good afternoon, and thank you for taking time out of your day to join us for our monthly segment of Rainbow Inspirations. During this series of chats from the LGBTQ community, we've heard from local leaders and influencers that always leave us feeling inspired. And today, for our July segment, we're going to learn more about the story of DahVid Weiss, a multimodality healer, teacher, and mentor. He's building on 33 years of experience and possesses a rare quality for passion in the pursuit of joining others on their healing journey, often quoted as saying, I champion you to live your passion. He is licensed Asian medicine, sound medicine, and works in naturopathic medicine. DahVid brings a unique array of skills, and he specializes in esoteric acupuncture, Chinese herbal medicine, acutonics, biofield tuning, nutrition, digestive disorders, PTSD, and trauma. DahVid, did I capture everything correctly this morning?
Yes, yeah, that's a long list I gave you.
It
It's been a
is.
lot of years.
It is. Well, we certainly look forward to learning more. Now, you're currently located in the Asheville area. Is that correct?
Yes, in East Asheville in the Riceville area.
Wonderful. Well, what brought you to Asheville? Where are you from, the Asheville area?
No, I'm not from here originally.
Oh, where are
Um,
you from?
I moved here from Arizona, in the desert, Tucson, Sedona as well, those areas 15 years ago.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Was there anything specific that brought you to the mountains?
Oh, that's a long answer. The short of it is that I'm the type of person that I do relocation astrology before I go to a place. I check it out. I come here and I see if it's organically aligns with, the people I meet, how I feel when I get here, sit on the land and meditate. And so I also had three channels, people that do channeling for many years tell me, move to the mountains of North Carolina. I'm like, no, I don't want to live in the snow. So I'm originally from New York City.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. So it sounds like you have been all absolutely around. Now, is it your travels or what is it that brought you into the healing arts, brought your interest there?
That started probably back in the 80s when I had, I guess, what you would call an awakening. There was something called a harmonic convergence. And I remember connecting with that in the late 80s. I had just moved to Florida, Fort Lauderdale area, Boca Raton, that area, Southeast Florida back in 1988. And I was working at that time in the beauty industry. I was working for Paul Mitchell Systems, and I was a salesman going to help salons, beauty salons, and selling Paul Mitchell and marketing for them as well too. And then I was recruited by Redken Laboratories and a distributor outside of Orlando. And so basically, what happened was I just started feeling there was something missing. I kept on hearing from my boss, oh, you got to make money, 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 money. And I'm like, you know what? There's something else that something doesn't feel right. And I'm starting to explore the world of spirituality as well.
That is wonderful. Now, you mentioned, and pardon me if I mispronounce this, but you said harmonic convergence. Is that what you
Yes,
referred to?
yes.
Can you
It's,
elaborate on that so we understand what that
harmonic
is?
convergence is a timeline where I guess it's where frequency starts to shift on the earth, and people that are aligned with that or hear the calling or on a spiritual path, so to speak, start to align with the sound, maybe with sound healing as well. And that's when I first came in touch with sound as well, that can heal the body. I wasn't really professed in that. So it's sort of like a frequency. It has to do with other things that's called like the Schumann resonance, which is the resonance of the earth, which is 7.83 hertz. And when we work with that resonance, we feel grounded, we feel safe, we feel rooted as well. It's a certain hertz that you can work with. So there's connection there. And there's connection with shifting energy. There's connection with people awakening. There's connection with, people evolving.
That's wonderful. So 7.83 is our magic number. Is that what I'm hearing?
For grounding, yes, it does shift, but that it does go up and lower as well. It does move around. Hertz frequencies move up and down, but that is a general number of the Schumann resonance for grounding.
Yeah. Wonderful. So now when we introduced you, we mentioned a lot of things that you're involved in. And are you under an umbrella? Did you, I guess my question being, did you seek this education under one roof? Or is this something that's been part of a journey or since, what did you say, the 80s?
Yeah, late 80s, 1988. Yeah, this is a journey, really. I'm what you call multi-modality person. And so it's basically, it just keeps on shape-shifting into what I'm called to study. It started with herbal medicine back in the early 90s when I was working for Redken. And I also started a nonprofit at the age of 29 called the Premier Club in South Florida. I saw there was a need for salon owners how to market their business properly and how to run their business. And, because they're not really good at business people. They're artistes, they'll say. And so, and then I was helping them. I started a nonprofit. I had a membership. Salon owners and salon stylists, or we used to call them hairdressers back in the day, would come into the membership, and I brought speakers in from around the country to teach them about all sorts of things in the hair industry. And then, remember that piece I talked about earlier about it's not all about money, right?
Yes.
Well, what I started doing with this nonprofit is I started getting donations from a big company like Redken. At that time was privately owned by a family, and before it was sold to L'Oreal. And so I would go to like health shows and women's shows where it was catered towards women, or it was just a general health fair, huge health fair, like Fort Lauderdale Convention Center. And my hairdressers would come, they would give free haircuts, or $5 haircuts or $10 haircuts. And all the money was donated to Pediatric AIDS Foundation, when that was a thing back then. And also battered women's shelters, different organizations locally in that area, specifically Broward County, Florida, where I was, Fort Lauderdale area. So I started getting donations pouring in from a lot of the hair companies that I was working with. It wasn't just Redken, there were others as well, smaller ones. And then Hurricane Andrew hit back in 1991 in South Florida, devastated an area called Homestead. So I got my group of hairdressers together, and I had friends make t-shirts for free that said hair, Hurricane Andrew immediate response. And we caravanned down to Tent City where people were living and gave free haircuts. And I handed out soap, I handed out brushes, all this was donations that came in. And so that's what really fueled this for me to go, there's something out there. It's not about what my boss is telling me about money. So I started researching into herbal medicine and studying myself, got an acupuncture treatment in 1993. I remember that treatment to this day, shifted my life. Enrolled in school in South Florida in Chinese medicine, which is a 4-year, 3,600-hour program.
Fantastic. And you are still on that journey, I understand. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I'm a doctor of Oriental medicine, which is like asked me if there's an umbrella. So that's my umbrella. You know, under that umbrella is acupuncture, Chinese herbal medicine, qigong, nutrition, um, massage therapy, whole bunch of things as well that we could practice, like gua sha cupping, which has become more popular. I believe Gwyneth Paltrow on one of the Academy Awards show made that one, you know, pretty popular, cupping. Oh, look at all my cups, you know.
Right. Gotta watch the cut of that dress, right?
Right, exactly.
Absolutely. Now, is sound medicine, is that wrapped into the Chinese herbal medicine as well?
It is not. I added that in a little later, and there is no licensing for that there, but there is certification. And I offer that through my academy, which is called ASHA, Asheville Sound Healing Academy.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there's going to be an opportunity for you to showcase the sound medicine piece of what you do. Is that correct?
There is tuning forks on where people have pain, neck and shoulder problems. I'll be showcasing, and acupuncture points. That's what I teach as well, and that's how I treat people. It's like needleless acupuncture. I still do acupuncture as well. I've
Fantastic. And
also
when are you?
studied naturopathic medicine also.
Wonderful. And when are you doing that? You'll be at Land of Sky this month. Is that correct? Land of
Yes,
Sky
I think
Regional
that's on the
Council.
20th.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And we'll definitely provide folks an opportunity to sign up for that so that they can see you in action. Now, you are an out man, is correct? Is that correct?
I'm an out
And
man, yes.
wonderful. And when did you come out to yourself, DahVid?
Probably when I was 22, 23, somewhere in between there. Yeah.
And at the same time, did you come out to the community?
Yes, I did officially when I was 24 to my family.
And what was that experience like, and especially as it relates to this world of Eastern medicine?
Well, what was that like coming out?
Hmm.
So it was pretty easy. My family was accepting. My sister said, "Oh yeah, you hang out with Rob a lot, whatever." My friend and I we go to the beach club on Long Island, and they had beach passes, so I would go. And she goes, "Yeah, I know." My brother's like, "Yeah, okay, pass the salt." My mother's like, "We love you anyway, but don't tell your dad. We will." And that
Fantastic.
was okay. I was told to basically buckle down and you know and maybe I'll grow out of it. But then he accepted it.
Funny how that is, right?
It
But
is.
it sounds like you were in a welcoming space, and it that way with your outside community beyond family as well?
Yes, yes. It was easy. Um, uh, Friends were accepting, and you know, I waited to tell some friends, and I remember a very good friend of mine at that point found out from my roommate, who was my roommate Gail, a woman, and he got so upset with me. He's like, "Why didn't you tell me? I love the fact that you're out and all this stuff, and you know, and give me a hug and brother and all this stuff." I'm like, it was great. So yeah, turned out he wound up being bi. We both did.
That's
Yeah,
great. That's
yeah.
great.
You just close that door. Okay.
Love those fur babies, right?
Yes.
It's fantastic. So you are quite an entrepreneur. How is this important to who you are, and
Being out,
or being an entrepreneur? How does that
oh,
drive you?
being an out entrepreneur.
Yes.
So um, it's always worked out better for me working for myself. And you know, I've studied many things, a theology as well. I have a PhD in that, and that adds into higher consciousness work, Taoism, you know, and looking at different philosophies. So it's just really about, hey, come on, let's go on this journey. sharing information with people, being a resource for people in the community, and getting out there, doing things like this as well, doing demonstrations with the tuning forks. What I do is very different. So it just feels right. This is my life.
That's beautiful. Now, if you were to give an inspirational tip to somebody who's maybe taking a more non-traditional path, what sort of inspiration would you provide them?
Well, I think you said it. Live your passion, serve, and the rest will follow. There's a lot of trust that goes in there as well too. And I've take a risk. It always pays off. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Fear is false emotions appearing real, right? Have some hope, humility, optimism, peace, and enthusiasm. I made that one up. Work with love, living optimal vibrational experiences. So when we having fun with all this, that's my point.
I love false emotions appearing real. I think that is fantastic. I'm definitely going to carry that with me today. That's absolutely great. So I know that sometimes Eastern medicine, people can kind of, give that little head tilt, not fully understanding. Is there a portion of what you do that you're more likely to introduce folks that are completely where this is a new world to them? Is there a place where you would encourage their entree into understanding?
Well, Eastern medicine is likened to a gardener where you plant a seed, you water it, it grows, and it weeds. It's natural medicine. So Eastern medicine is basically a whole medical system that could treat just as about anything as Western medicine can, but with a lot less side effects, from the pharmaceutical drugs. So, it's flip of what we were taught. And so it's really, directing people, do your research, look at, go to my website. There's some good information on there. And it's really about empowerment for our own health. That really is the key, is to feel empowered to make choices and never give your power away to what somebody else is telling you to do. When I work with people, I always say I'm journeying with you. I'm partnering with you. This is not a hierarchy. And it's really about journeying together to find the root cause, like peeling an onion to get to the root. That's what this medical system is.
I appreciate you providing that space for people to make their own decisions. I think that's absolutely lovely. Wonderful. So how would you describe, now we've been talking about this journey you've been on, so how would you describe your aging experience as it relates to this journey?
Well, 50s were better, were easier. Over 60 seems to be okay. Well, things are hurting a little bit more or popping up. It's take it slow. Don't move as fast, and really listen to your body.
Yeah.
Listen to what your body is telling you. We live in a very fast-paced world, faster than it's ever been. It's what I call the celestial speed up of time. And as everybody's saying the same thing, it's like, oh my God, where did the day go? Where did the week go? We're in half of 2023 is almost done already, right? How do we get here, right? All these things that we hear and or say. And so it's my thing is about stillness, about being still, being with the earth, being with nature, grounding, breathing techniques, just really, make time for yourself. I'm what I call a self-care nerd.
I love that. So do you have any simple, easy exercise that we can take part in to kind of slow down when we're feeling a little frantic in our day or just need a moment. I think we all experience that at some point every day.
Yeah, sure. There's options. Go outside for a walk. Stop what you're doing, right? That's maybe if you're working in an office or something, or go into like a bathroom if you're working in a public place and just go sit and go and breathe from your belly, deep breath. It's really simple. There's a lot of breathing techniques out there. Some of them are very complicated. I like to keep it simple. It's like inflate as you breathe in, and then as you exhale, deflate. Right? Do that 5 times. Something like that. Or I am safe. I feel safe. And just take a breath. If people are in a situation where they don't feel safe as well. And go hug a tree, it's been made fun of, right? I've been made fun of for that as well. Oh yeah, you're a tree hugger. Well, go hug a tree and breathe and see how you feel afterwards. I
I really
guarantee you'll feel better.
really appreciate that advice. And I got to admit, that first breath I took, you almost feel it just wash over you, just taking that moment. So I understand that what you do is a full body, meaning mind, body.
Spirit.
Is that correct?
Yeah, people get a little like, well, what does that mean?
Mhm.
Well, when we work with the Tao, we work with the Tao, and the Tao is a philosophy. It's before Buddhism, and it's really about body, mind, and spirit. We are the earth person between heaven and earth, right? So that is as above, so below, right? Above, below, and here we are having to exist in what I call Earth School, right? School's not always easy, but here we are. And so as we are coexisting, cohabitating, it's basically, I lost track of your question. I'm sorry.
See, that's what happens as we get older. Sometimes our thoughts are just fleeting. And I don't even know what my question was, DahVid. I apologize. I think we both got caught there. Let me ask you this. Oh, I was talking about body, mind, and spirit. And what does that look
Yes.
like?
Well, body, mind, and spirit, it's treating what we call, body, mind, and spirit can be interpreted as Jing, your Qi, and your Shen, your mind. Okay? Your root, your Qi, and then your Shen, which is your mind. Body, mind, spirit can also be interpreted as the 3, the magic number, the 3 in the Tao. And what that is about your physical body, your emotional body, and the fields around your body. That's important. People think, oh, well, yeah, I got diabetes or I got sick and it's a physical thing. And no, there's emotions connected to that. What's the emotional aspect that you need to heal with each disease? This is what I do. I dive into that with people, you know?
I really appreciate that focus on the emotional element. And I must admit, this is one of the first times I've really heard that pulled out as a piece of our health and our well being. And I appreciate that because our emotions really do impact so much of how we feel, think, live, and exist. So I think that's a very important recognition, if you will. Thank you. Yeah,
You're welcome.
absolutely. So let me ask you this, DahVid, what's next for you? As we wrap up, I want to really delve into each one of these things. I want to learn more about it, but um, I don't know that we have time. But I do want to know kind of what's next. Where is this journey leading, or do you even know at this point?
Well, I like to stay in the present moment. I tell myself that every day. Be here now. That's from Ram Dass, right? Very famous Buddhist teacher. And so be here now. And that's important to stay in the present moment and have maybe a 5-year plan out What's next? Well, I'm just going to continue what I'm doing. Something new that's a passion of mine. I've been working with animals for many years, volunteering, and I'm going to start to teach people how to work on their dogs with the tuning forks and with sound and with energy.
That
Yeah,
is
so that's what
fantastic.
I'm starting that at the end of this year in the fall. And I'm very excited about that.
That is
I'm allergic
extremely.
to cats.
So did you say cats as well, or not quite
I
yet?
saw a little question pop up. What about cats? Other animals? Yes, eventually. I'll probably be working with Trina at Animal Haven here in East Asheville. I was right before COVID started. I was supposed to go work on a donkey, on an elder donkey that had arthritis, and I need to go back there now and start to figure out how I'm going to do that.
I'm hearing too in our conversation a lot of reference to managing pain, which I think we all know is extremely important, especially in these times. Can you speak to that a little bit more in your success with that,
Yes,
or
acupuncture and oriental medicine is very helpful for that, extremely helpful. I have that done myself. I have an old SI joint injury, back injury on the right side from the gym many years ago that flares up and flares up more. Get out of bed, you creak your neck, doesn't feel so good. So I'm constantly doing that. Tuning forks are great because anybody could get a tuning fork and work on themselves at home as well. I have a lot of my students that do that in my classes, that they work on themselves. I have a tuning fork on my nightstand. It's like, keep tuning forks in your medicine cabinet instead of a bottle of Tylenol.
is there a frequency or note that relates to pain more than another, that resonates in treatment more than another?
Yeah, that's a really good question. There's a pain fork that I'm actually having made very soon. And it's the frequency of like an earth frequency that's a lower frequency that assists the body in relaxing everything. Because you got to think about it. We're made of sound and vibe. What are we made up of? Particles of sound and light. What heals the body? Sound and light. That's what I use. With acupuncture as well to stimulate the areas of the body, the points in the body, and the chi in the body. To bring the body into homeostasis. So, but with the tuning forks, anybody can use that at home. And it's empowering, empower yourself to heal yourself.
That is really wonderful. Let me see if we've got any questions from the outside, DahVid, real quick. All right. We do not. Well, before we wrap up today, I wanted to see, is there anything else you'd like to share with our folks? Any words of advice or guidance that you would like to offer up this afternoon?
Yes, take time to nurture yourself. That's really important. Like I alluded to, I'm a self-care nerd and I do a lot of work on myself. My body seems to really like that. And, listen to your body. Slow down when you need to as well.
Wonderful. I love that advice. Just
Yeah.
remember to breathe, right? Get outside,
Right.
remember
We
to
have to
breathe.
be.
Beautiful. Well, DahVid, I really appreciate you spending your lunch time with us today to
Sure.
share this wonderful information. And we encourage folks to learn more and reach out. We also encourage you to join us next month, where we will be here the first Wednesday of August at 12 noon to offer another installment of our Rainbow Inspirations. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time, DahVid. Everybody
Thank
have a wonderful afternoon.